Today I'll introduce you all to a game called the Friendship Game. The rules are very simple. Each person receives a contact lens before starting. After putting them on, everyone can see the number of friends above the other's head. After 24 hours, the person with the fewest friends will die. And what about the winners? Nothing happens to them. They must continue playing until their friends count drops to 0. Our main male character today is named Hayato, a poor high school student with no friends and a terrible life, often left out during gatherings. How could someone friendless like him survive this game? No way. That's actually an advantage. Now to survive, they must deceive and betray each other. A deadly game where human relationships decide life or death. Friends are iron chains that need to be cast aside. He doesn't need friends or relationships. All he needs is a ruthless enough brain. It starts with the image of a blonde girl crying. She looks like someone just stole her house deed. She screams in despair in front of someone in the classroom. The numbers above all the other students' heads are 2 or more. Only hers is a perfect 0. Please be my friend. Meanwhile, the clock on the wall counts down with 17 seconds left. The blonde girl cries even more desperately now. She kneels down, begging, "Please, tell me what to do. I'll do anything." Just then, a young man quietly enters the classroom. She's still crying in despair. The door swings open quickly like a gust of wind. A man with white hair and dark circles around his eyes like he just got out of the hospital. He points at the pitiful girl. "Is that your friend count? You can't even control something like that." The clock is counting down at the same time, isn't it? Miyakuzuka then shows a menacing aura, time to be punished. At that moment, the blonde girl collapses. No hope left. Miyakuzuka bares his sharp teeth in condolence. "Listen up, everyone. A person who can't even manage their number of friends isn't worthy of having a future," he says, glaring and lecturing them. After saying this, the blonde girl disappears. Plasma flows from her eyes and mouth like rain, accompanied by loud screams, pleading from the old man. Miyakuzuka, "No, let's just end this already." Meanwhile, our main character witnessing this feels a bit freaked out. This classroom has changed. The blonde girl really died, no joke. The other students sit in disbelief in their seats. And to understand why that whole question moment happened, we have to go back to yesterday. Rewind time before that crazy guy appeared. Everyone was still laughing and chatting normally. Only Hayato Makabe, our main male lead, sat quietly in a corner. Probably a bookworm. He was reading when suddenly his rebellious stomach growled at the worst time. 2 girls at the desk above immediately turned down and gave him judgmental looks. Who wanted this to happen seriously? Hayato jumped up, too embarrassing, better to run away than stay. It seems he ran to the restroom and then turned on the faucet. Hayato bent down to drink water to quench his thirst. "I'm starving." Suddenly, 3 female students confidently walked in. One of them randomly kicked Hayato hard. A painful kick. "Wait, isn't this the boys' restroom? Did you get the wrong place? Hey. Looks familiar, turns out it's the girl who logged out at the start of the story. Her name is Mai Nanasaka. She lifted her face. "That hurt. You're blocking my way, loser." Hayato stood up straight and adjusted his glasses. He doesn't seem well-liked in this class, but he's the one who makes sure these girls don't get to say everything. The purple-haired girl is Kanetozawa. The red-haired one is Seko. What's with all 3 of them picking on the poor guy? Still arguing. Just drinking water for lunch, that's sad. Faced with those insults, Hayato couldn't argue back at all. Then the 3 of them, like the boss ladies, turned and left. "Let's go. We don't have time to waste on that useless guy." At that moment, Hayato stood there dazed. His reflection in the mirror showed his pathetic appearance. Then he held his head and cried out for himself, "Oh God." After a while, he turned and walked away. Hayato opened the classroom door and stepped inside. But his clothes were still soaking wet. As expected, judgmental stare all fixed on him. Hayato lowered his head. They all took turns mocking him. "What the hell is that? Bathing at school, just because you're poor." He tried to endure as he dragged his soaked body back to his seat. The scornful laughter echoed in his ears. Maybe that guy will even dry his clothes at school. When he got to his seat, he pulled out a chair. Just then, a familiar figure entered the classroom. Hayato immediately paid attention. It was that crazy guy Miyakuzuka. Who else? Trin-chan. No, wait, Trin-chong announced. "It's time for the test, kids. I am Miyakuzuka, sent by the government." The whole class immediately widened their eyes hearing that. The government sent a teacher. Miyakuzuka gently placed a pink paint-splattered case on the desk. He opened the lid slightly and explained, "Because I'm going to teach you, I guess I'm your teacher." From inside, Miyakuzuka pulled out a blue-green bottle. "This is an order from the authorities. Everyone must wear these contact lenses. The whole class gets 1 command each. But I'm already wearing contacts. Even Hayato did. He examined them while listening. The vision will autocorrect even if you are wearing glasses. After hearing that, Hayato took off his glasses and put on the lenses. In his heart, he questioned deeply, autocorrect, huh? Amazing. But what exactly is the government doing? Then Miyakuzuka urged everyone to put them on. When everyone was done, he immediately put on an excited, almost crazy face. Now let's start the experiment. Do not remove them until the experiment is complete. They have a self-cleaning function. A brown-haired girl with the number 2 above her head suddenly asked, "What experiment?" An experiment with contact lenses. Hayato's eyes fixed intently ahead. What is this vision thing? When putting on these fake lenses, it seems everyone can see numbers above their heads. You can see the number above your head. Meanwhile, Miyakuzuka spoke up, no matter who. The name of these lenses is Tay. He quickly grabbed chalk and wrote some words on the board. Those words were friend counters. Along with his explanation, the number above a person's head shows how many friends they have. The game officially starts here. From now on, all of you are government test subjects in the friend filtering project. Miyakuzuka explained while talking. It's limited to this class only. In this friend filtering experiment, you can't recruit outsiders into the class. The wall clock started counting down 23:59:50. The next sentence made everyone scared shitless. Then suddenly a silver-haired guy interrupted. Dude, whoever has the lowest number above their head will die, so be careful if you have no friends. Looks like this is the 5th period tomorrow. Miyakuzuka clapped to settle the class. Friendship is built on mutual understanding within the class. The serious guy yelled in dissatisfaction, "What kind of experiment is this? Just call Miyakuzuka Zuka. That name's too damn long." He tilted his head, looking at the serious guy. Don't joke with death if you don't have friends. Down below, someone unaware of the danger reached to take them off. Don't mess around, that's all the footage we have. The kid's eyes started to show blood vessels with confused groans. Then his eye plasma exploded out, and blood poured from his mouth like a stream. After that, he just collapsed. Luckily, everyone was scared, but then a volunteer chicken immediately became the example. Zuka approached the unfortunate young man. Now you realize this isn't a joke, right? Don't take it off until the experiment is complete. If you break the rules, that collar will dissolve and release a deadly poison that will cause your eyes and brain to hemorrhage. Everyone head back to your spots. Hayato, what kind of main character is this so miserable? You don't even have a single friend that's kind of intense. Above, Zuka had sealed the box and was about to leave. He didn't forget to look back. The bond between people directly affects life and death. Remember this lesson deeply. In a flash, he disappeared, leaving only his voice. Use that tiny brain of yours to think. The cheerful atmosphere at first also faded away. The whole group fell into gloom and fear, and the one who worried the most was Hayato, of course. The imperfect number made him scratch his head and then pull his ear. Being friends for 24 hours. How the heck is that possible? A thought suddenly flashed in his mind. I need to escape. Then Hayato immediately ran straight outside somewhere far away without being noticed. While running scared, something suddenly made him stop. Unexpectedly, he ran into Zuka here too. Hayato, a bookworm, also knew how to curse silently. Damn. Suddenly, a like-minded young man appeared. Hayato immediately paid attention, and upon looking, it turned out he also had an imperfect number. Was the other number a different color from another class? Seeing a fellow countryman, he immediately approached to start a conversation. Are you planning to escape too? The boy replied coldly with a yeah 2 times. Hayato anxiously warned, someone's coming, jump first. Hearing this, the kid actually planned to jump for real. Under men's watchful eyes, the young man let himself fall onto the grass. As soon as he touched the ground, his number also drained away, just like before, exploding in shock. By the window, Hayato turned pale, maybe even peed himself. Luckily, he didn't jump first. Just as he was scared, Zuka's hand landed on his shoulder. Hey kid, I don't know if the main character has a heart condition, but are you sure you want to go to the altar this soon? Zuka appeared like a god right beside the kid. What are you doing, man? Looking at Hayato cluelessly, he guessed, you're trying to see what happens after that guy jumps and then escape, right? With honesty ingrained in his blood, Hayato immediately denied no, sir. Looking at the unfortunate young man who had died below, Zuka lectured him. This experiment isn't some life experience lesson through friendship. It's even harsher than that. The camera zoomed in on the young man's body. Ants were already swarming like in the real world. The kid will give away trust and make others think he's one of them. First time seeing ants drinking blood pudding, guys. And when the crucial moment comes, the kid will use them as a stepping stone to survive. The ants kept following each other. Along with Zuka's words, he glanced sideways at the guy next to him. It's okay. Zuka smirked teasingly, but also with good intention to warn. Though his face clearly looked disdainful. You're the only one in the class without a friend. Be careful not to become a target. Hearing this, Hayato was startled. A target? Night had fallen by then. Inside the classroom building in Hayato's class, thankfully there was some bread to eat. Otherwise, they'd starve for sure. Curry bread is really good. The coffee is bitter as hell. In a corner, Hayato sat quietly alone, his heart full of longing. Having friends must be wonderful. I have no one. Seeing everyone else with friends made him feel deeply hurt. At least someone should come and be friends with me. Then he glanced at Mai's group. No, if I'm no longer a zero, surely someone will have to die. Zuka's words kept echoing in his head. Be careful not to become a target. Hayato was helpless. So everyone plans to sacrifice themselves to save themselves. Then he gritted his teeth, his face pale as if facing the 2025 National High School English exam. Just because I have no friends, I have to die. At that moment, the speaker on the wall blared the announcement loudly. The ban on phone use was lifted. It continued announcing amid the kids' confusion that talking about the experiment would be punished. All forms of communication were censored. If it's allowed, who wouldn't use it? Just like that, the two of them held their phones and called their family, Mom, yes, I'm still okay. Hayato also turned on his phone. He looked at the screen, lighting up with only one message from his little sister. It was Kisaki, worried, asking, where are you? Did you do something but there's no meat left? Another message came from his mother. How the hell did Mom end up asking her high school son to lend her money? Seeing that message, it seemed like he was already too familiar with it. Hayato gritted his teeth, grinding, again, always like this, always. Okay, now it's time to recall the main character's past. At that time, he was dragging his feet step by step heading home. The sky was a pale orange tone. Hayato had reached the door. From inside came muffled voices whispering. Opening the door, the voices became clearer and sounded like watching a porn movie, right? Come on, spread your legs wide, Hayato stood outside, his face frozen. Fill her up with money, brother. More of it, man. Without expression, he stepped straight inside. Must be because of my evil heart. Those two are doing something shady, not what I thought, that's for sure. The bald guy was handing over some yellow papers. The blonde-haired mom was extremely delighted. Let the wealth pile up on me. He looked at Hayato with a smirk. Long time no see, you've grown up so much. Then he handed it over to Hayato as well, just like he never asked if I wanted it or not. Wishing Hayato well, the blonde-haired mom next to him took out her smartphone. Thank you very much, teacher. There was one more person in the room who seemed to be Kisaki, his little sister, looking pitiful, happy the brother was back. She curled up in a corner between these two crazy people, brother. Suddenly, the bald guy stepped toward little Kisaki. Looked just like some pervy old man. Little Kisaki, huh? He leaned close to her ear, making her turn pale. Remember the dojo, often okay, I'll help you gather more wealth. As for that woman, I don't even know if she's really the two kids' mother. She was applying lipstick and happily chimed in, that's wonderful. Kisaki, let's make a lot of money. Then his expression turned sour. Looking at the guy leaning on Hayato, the kid is still in school, right? It's almost time you know that, kid. You have to join too. Then he looked extremely excited, like he was high on opium. Just as he was getting hyped, the girl suddenly shouted, teacher. She held up some money. This is Hayato's share now. Then he accepted it. Passing by Hayato, he didn't forget to taunt Hayato. You should start joining the cult early. As he stepped out, he waved slyly. Kisaki was the same like mother and child after the ball guy left. Hayato was now panicked, running to his little sister. Kisaki, don't ever go there. You don't know what that guy will do to you. While they were being affectionate, suddenly the two moms shouted loudly, Hayato, she only cares about money. Then immediately gave Hayato a loving slap. Then came a relentless barrage of scolding. What the hell are you talking about? Do you know what will happen if you don't have money? Yelling so hard she spat everywhere. Then she got right up in his face, not caring if she had bad breath. Not only this life won't be comfortable, but the next one won't be either. At that moment, Hayato remembered and fell into despair. Our family got involved in some cult. And without money, I'm about to die because I have no friends. He felt like he was trapped in a black space. How could I think about the next life? This life of mine is basically over. While feeling negative, the only light in his life was his little sister Kisaki, who suddenly messaged him, looks like it's raining. Should I come pick you up? Hayato's hands suddenly trembled for a moment. Then tears fell. Suddenly a thought flashed in his mind. If I die, what will happen to Kasaki? Because of this only light, Hayato regained his will to live. You send her a message to reassure her that because you're still in class, you can't go home yet. Don't worry. Your eyes become more determined than ever. I will definitely survive and come back. Then Hayato stood up and rubbed his face, going to wash up first. A moment later, he was walking down the hallway. Just as he passed by the girls' bathroom, suddenly a girl stepped out, startling him. This girl's name is Ami Shirano. Hayato, shy around girls, nervously and bashfully stepped past Ami. Why let the girl make the first move like this? Ami suddenly called him back. Hey, Hayato. She glanced coldly at that spot and replied something to him. Ami smiled as bright as an angel. Bare-shouldered, she happily asked to be friends with someone like Hayato, who had never had a friend before. This was really shocking, wasn't it? Then he rubbed his head. Did you think you misheard me and the others? Just then her friends came out calling loudly. Ami, so you're here. I've been looking for you. Ami looked helplessly toward him. Wait, but these two girls kept pulling like a tug of war. I need to talk to you. Let's go. Hayato stood there silent as a clam. Thought he was about to make a friend, but got interrupted instead. A moment later, he entered the boys' bathroom. Hayato wiped his hands dumbfounded. What the heck is going on? Then he opened the door and returned to class. What caught his eye was, am I sitting and chatting with the girls about Mai? Then young Hayato mustered up courage to step forward. About earlier. Got interrupted again. Someone yelled loudly, hey loser. It was Mai, of course. She looked at him with contempt. What are you bothering my friend for? This time he replied right away, I need to make friends too. That made Mai even more bitter. Then she immediately glared at him with disgust, twirling something in her hand. Does anyone want to be friends with this guy? Mai held up a yellow bag engraved with letters and ridiculed him. Here, this is the charm my mom sold to my dad for 50,000 yen. Immediately whispers echoed around. Hayato froze and blurted out. Mom sold it. What does that have to do with you? That cost 50,000 yen. That's crazy. Mai started criticizing his mom. She's willing to sleep with anyone just to get donations, right? The more she spoke, the more resentful she became. That woman deceived my dad and took a lot of money, and then my family broke apart. On this side, Hayato's face darkened. Even though it wasn't related, he still apologized for that history. I'm sorry, but I didn't do anything. Mai looked disgusted, dumped some trash out of a cloth bag, and inside it fingernails from some man. Then she threw it hard on the ground in front of many witnesses. Don't talk about happiness after destroying someone else's family. At this point, he could only stand there and take it. Isn't dying supposed to get you lots of money from everyone? Soon it was morning. The night passed like that. Now the countdown clock showed only 58 minutes and 57 seconds left. Hayato sat below, completely desperate, remembering those unlucky guys. He got even more scared he'd pee himself. If this keeps up, I'll be dead in an hour. Now Mai acted like a bossy older sister going up to a friend. Hey, Saiho, can I borrow that? I'm so bored. Siho reluctantly held onto the comic book. I just bought it yesterday. Wait till I finish reading it. Immediately, Mai got close and threatened her. You're being asked nicely. If you don't lend it to me, I'll stop being your friend, got it? Then Saiho had to hand it over to Mai, holding it with satisfaction. That's right, you have to make your friend happy. Then other girls started ridiculing Mai. She's so annoying, always borrowing other people's stuff. Yato on the side heard it all, thinking, I'm about to die, and they're worried about drama. The more he heard, the more dizzy he felt. This is bad, I don't know how to survive this. Suddenly, he had an idea. I know if she loves comics so much, I'll give it to Mai. Then Hayato reached into his desk drawer looking for something a little worn but hopefully still okay. For a moment, his eyes widened in confusion. It's not here. Hayato panicked. I dumped the entire drawer out. It's gone. My stuff is gone. He recalled that just last night it was right here. Someone had taken it. Looking at the items in front of him, he asked incredulously, who would dare take my stuff right now? Remembering Mai's earlier words and actions, Mai is really annoying. She always borrows other people's stuff. Exactly, you have to keep your friend happy. Hayato immediately suspected. Could it be that you stood in the middle of class looking into Mai Long's spot and it was definitely her? Suddenly he realized, but does she really like comics that much? She didn't even read the book she just borrowed. Now only 14 minutes, 5 seconds left. Long Hayato silently resolved. I have to change the situation and there's no time left. 2 female students nearby were still talking about Mai. Speaking of which, I recently lent her my electronic dictionary, but she still hasn't returned it. even though that crazy girl never studies. Hearing this, he snapped awake. Could it be? Hayato opened his phone screen and fiddled with it for a while, then showed a look of astonishment, staring intently at something on the phone, then turned to get ready to go somewhere. Hayato approached the two girls who were bullying little Mai. Hey, the dictionary you lent Mai. Is it gray and does it have a name written on the back? The blonde girl looked at him curiously. How do you know? Hayato immediately raised his phone screen. It was sold for 2,000 yen last week. The short-haired girl's face turned purple with anger. That's mine, the name was erased. Then unable to hold back, she went straight to Mai. Did you sell my dictionary on the online market, didn't you? Mai stubbornly replied, You don't know your life is about to expire. She glared at her. What the hell are you talking about? Then the two-tone-haired girl held up the proof. This is your account, isn't it? Suddenly, her friend worriedly stepped forward. Hey, going against Mai is really scary. She's got a crazy streak. The two-tone girl pushed the blonde away and showed her what was on the screen. Seeing this, the blonde's eyes widened. No way. Immediately, she angrily snapped, That's the DVD set I lent Mai. One after another, others also criticized Mai. I finally got the artist's autograph. I like it. Sell it. That's unacceptable. But Mai remained confident and arrogant. You haven't seen the coffin yet, so don't cry. What proof do you have that it's mine? At that moment, Hayato stepped forward like a god. Mai, give me your phone. He raised the screen for Mai to see. This is a manga drawn by my dad's friend 15 years ago. Only 100 copies were sold. The two-tone girl immediately recognized that means the recent notification means it was just sold. Now Mai knew for sure. She looked at the phone in terror. Jiho, whose stuff was also borrowed, stepped up. So you just announced my book, right? I already bought it. She showed her purchase notification screen. Even now, she still tried to argue, you must have a face made of wood, don't lie. I didn't do anything. Hayato stepped up and pushed her away. The shipping date is 2 weeks from now. He took out 2 comic books from Mai's drawer. But since they're here, I'll take them. Then he handed one to Jiho. Here. Thanks. Jiho brightened up too, staring directly at Mai. I don't want to be friends with a thief. Immediately, the number 8 turned to 7, while Mai still didn't realize the disaster about to hit. What are you even saying? The whole group turned their backs on her. I won't be friends with you anymore. Between Hayato and Mai, Hayato was much better. The two girls, always sticking close to Mai, looked at her with contempt. Speaking of which, Mai was the one who suggested exiling and sacrificing Hayato. Exactly, on Kane's side. People like that are scary. I don't want anyone like that in the class. Then Mai's number rapidly dropped. She trembled like she was about to piss herself. Hey Mai, your friend count just dropped to 1. That number belonged to Zay, but she also turned her back. I'm out too by Mai. Only despair remained. Wait. And then what was bound to happen did happen. The game was flipped. Now Mai held the goose egg. She refused to accept the truth and screamed madly, and the time left was only 4 minutes, 19 seconds. Mai shamelessly shouted angrily, You guys are playing dirty, betraying me. Kane and Z looked at her with contempt. You always make me pay for drinks, it's so annoying. Siho, sitting and reading comics, also spoke up. I always hoped you'd be a different person. Only now did Mai fearfully slump to the ground. It's your fault. The two-tone girl laughed gleefully. I feel so good. She went to Hayato and asked, Will you be friends with me? He immediately looked confused and embarrassed. Is that okay? Siho happily added, Can I be friends with you too? You immediately replied, If you're okay with it. Now Yato has 2 friends thanks to Mai's dirty habit. You silently thank heaven you don't have to die anymore. Over here, Mai looked up. Only 3 minutes and 2 seconds left. She seemed to have fallen into earthly hell. Seeing Mai even more desperate, crying pitifully like a mangy dog, she grabbed Z and Kane, begging for mercy. I'll pay for all the drinks, so be friends with me. Why the hell would I be friends with this girl? Looking at Mai's face, both turned their cars around and mocked her. I'll pay for all the drinks, so be friends with me. I don't need your money. I just don't want anything to do with you. After hearing that, Mai seemed to fall into complete despair. It was just like the scene at the beginning of the story again. She cried and begged anyone, be friends with me, and the whole class started whispering. 17 seconds left. This is terrifying, and she kept begging like a beggar for mercy. Do whatever you want me to do. Then the door opened. Zuka strode in proudly. The number of friends he had couldn't even control these kinds of things. Mai still, dazed, kept muttering friends, friends. And after that, well, there was no after. She became the first person to log out in this round. Over here, Hayato still couldn't believe he was alive. Now I can meet Kasaki. Zuka was still lecturing the kids on philosophy just like in real life. Some people fall into deep abysses because of trivial changes. 2 people came to clean up and carried Mai's body away. It looked just like something out of Squid Game. Zuka kept nagging nonstop. Because of small amounts of money, she couldn't realize she was losing the trust of others. That's why no one wanted to help her. Instead, she created hatred equal to the punishment she received. Kane and Z looked at her closely, feeling a bit scared too. Then Zuka announced the next rule. Now everyone except the groups with the highest number of friends will die. Hearing that, Hayato froze. He barely escaped death, and now it wasn't over yet, it kept going. Suddenly, the number 2 above his head reset back to 0. Not only Hayato, but all the other friends experienced the same. The number reset to 0, and the clock started counting down again from 23, 59, 57. The deadline is still the 5th period tomorrow. Hayato rubbed his chin, calculating. Everyone except the groups with the highest number of friends will die. Suddenly, he spoke up, declaring that there's still a way to save everyone. Hayato stood among everyone. We can all survive together. Seeing this, Zuka furrowed his brow, watching this guy's actions. Siho looked confused at him. What do you mean? All attention was focused on Hayato. If everyone is friends with each other, a large group will form. Hearing this, the 2-colored kid was very happy. It meant no one would die this time. Suddenly, a blond young man, the arrogant school leader, spoke up. Playing peaceful, huh? And his name is Tomitaka. He smiled smugly as if saying he could live peacefully with the trash. I choose friends selectively. Seeing this, Zuka liked him even more. Liking him so much he was drooling. Wonderful, I'll watch a bit longer then. Below, a group of male students was heading toward Brandon. Instantly, the number 5 appeared above all their heads simultaneously. Brandon's group was already that big. The guy gulped down water, then rinsed his mouth. Brandon opened his mouth and laughed loudly. Here you guys are. A few more joined, immediately now totaling 12 people. Hayato looked on furious. Now he looked like a commander. Now there are 2 people in the class, meaning even if the others band together, they still can't beat the majority. Then Hayato got frustrated, nearly throwing up blood. Brandon, what are you doing? If we unite, no one will die. But in his eyes, you're just a stranded mermaid. What's this loser saying like a goldfish in a bowl? Seeing this, the yellow kid was very worried. It meant if we don't join Brandon's group, we'll die. Suddenly, a young man with a banana leaf hairstyle came over and put his arm around him. It was Sora Hosoya. He frowned and whispered that he didn't understand. Look, now I just noticed the guy is wearing an expensive watch. He must be some rich heir. Even his earrings are gold or diamonds shining bright. The necklace is the same. He looks quite fancy, no kidding. Sora realized something. That guy just wants attention to look cool. Look, see? Like I said, he steps up to flatter him, the leader. That watch looks insanely cool. Can I join? I'll do odd jobs for you, just as Sora predicted immediately. You're accepted. You're still pretty smart. Sora said, welcome, thanks. Then the number 13 appeared above his head. Then 2 guys from the group also invited him. Who else wants in? Joining this group means you'll survive for sure. Join or die. The 2 schoolgirls anxiously watched them. Then they also loudly said, I'll join. Me too, Sora quietly said to Hayato at that moment. See, just flatter him and everything will be fine. Then they took him to join Brandon's group and survive. As soon as they faced Brandon, he loudly said, oh, I forgot. You got to do some tasks first. He raised a wad of cash and sighed. If you want to join, give me 100,000 yen here. Hearing this, the 2 froze on the spot. We're in class. Where would we get 100,000 yen from? Brandon arrogantly pointed. I told you I picked my friends. Sora reacted with a stunned face. Wait, Otashian. Mouse. Little Vang was extremely worried. I don't have that much money. Hayato looked at him with a questioning gaze. Wow. At this critical moment, Old Man Zuka started seizing the chance to preach to the kids. Why for some individuals, hell is where the line between life and death is thin, especially the place that yields the most profit. Sora responded defiantly, if we band together, everyone can survive. Hearing this, Zuka smiled kindly, though not so kind-looking. The kid's hopeful thinking is right. Then he turned almost devilish to make him realize. However, in this place, that kindness will only be framed and hung on the wall. Then Zuka turned his back and left, leaving the kids to survive on their own. See you tomorrow. At this, Brandon chuckled and raised a QR code. Transfer is fine too. Now the price is 10 times higher. Pay 1 billion yen and be my friend. Meanwhile, the weaker classmates anxiously watch from the side. Hey, Sora, I thought you got accepted already. Because you helped Hayato now, you're in the same situation. He patted Hayato on the shoulder. Lend me some money. No, can't do that. You take the wallet in my hand. I don't even have 100,000 yen, let alone lend anyone money. Then Brandon laughed proudly. What's wrong? We're becoming a group, right? Come here. Two other guys in the gang also started calling. You all have phones, right? Remember to have your parents or friends transfer the money. Sora anxiously looked at his phone. My family is poor, and I don't know anyone with that much money, so I don't care. Brandon kept pushing, hurry up, hurry up. If you don't move fast, I'll raise the price. Then Kane and Z started calling their families to pay the tuition. Transfer, please. Little Now was so scared she almost cried. What should I do if I don't have 100,000 yen? I'll die. In this critical moment, Hayato spoke up again. Wait, everyone stay calm. Brandon's group definitely has the most people. He firmly proposed a plan. But if all of us band together, there will be 10 people. If we pull 2 from Brandon's group, we'll win. Brandon's people were still arrogant. He wasn't afraid at all. Suddenly, Saiho spoke up. I don't think it's that easy. Then he raised his phone to show a photo of himself on social media with a bunch of expensive watches. You don't know much about him, right? As soon as Hayato appeared, his face went pale. How does he have so much money? Saiho started explaining everything he knew about Brandon. I heard he's involved in financial scams. He teaches others how to make money. Remembering the watch on his wrist, that's all I've heard. Brandon is like the leader of the whole group, always taking charge to secure cooperation. Not only that, he has several pretty girls surrounding him. Clearly, he's using money and valuables. Suddenly, Siri shouted, "That's not right." Your friend anxiously called Siri's name. She paid attention to the watches they were wearing. Even the guys following him were part of their group. They should know what's more important, human lives over objects. Brandon calmly pulled out a cigarette and smoked. Siri lost it again. Don't be blinded by that petty cash. There are 10 lives at risk right now. Come here. Suddenly, Brandon called one guy over for a favor. He grabbed the young man's hand along with the cigarette in the other. Brandon arrogantly raised the still-burning cigarette. What do you mean, petty cash? Then pressed the hot cigarette tip against the guy's hand. Despite his pain and gritting teeth, Brandon put on a bracelet. Don't underestimate the power of money. Those words didn't shake his reason. They even sounded more like a challenge. After your passionate speech, does anyone dare to be my punching bag? Brandon slammed his foot on the table. Don't underestimate our friendship. This guy kept insisting. If life is worth that much, then pay 100,000 yen quickly. So the schoolgirls had no choice but to accept joining the group. We're worth more than 1 billion yen. Witnessing that, Hayato trembled with disbelief. Another person joined in. Me too? I don't want to die like that. Now only Yato and the pair Siri can't do anything. Only surprise remains. Siri had just lectured Brandon but is now walking toward him. Seeing that he smirked, your friend still can't believe it. Siri would never. The little yellow one's eyes widened, never thought this moment would come. We've been friends since middle school. Siri shrugged. Anyway, one's own life is the scariest. I don't want to die. If 1 billion yen can save me, then I should pay it. Suddenly, a loud voice caught Hayato's attention. Sir Brandon. Before him was a young man kneeling on the ground. Please let me join the group. His name was Wataru Sasaba. He pleaded earnestly, my parents are sick and can't come up with 1 billion yen. Yet surprisingly, Brandon was generous enough to give him a chance. Brandon frowned. Well, I'm not a devil, so I can give you a chance. Then he turned to those girls, but it couldn't be for free. That wouldn't be fair to those who've already paid. Wataru hurriedly knelt down, thanking him like a puppy. Thank you so much, sir. Your subordinate is willing to do anything. Then Brandon pushed further. Now, listen to your mission, the entrance test. Wataru nervously looked up at him. An entrance test? This guy's not very nice. Brandon tilted his head. I have to check if you're worth 100,000 yen. I have to test you. Then he began explaining, lately I've been ambushed a lot at the school gate. Suddenly his hand rested on Wataru's shoulder. The boy looked there in fear. Brandon smirked wickedly. I want you to lure those guys somewhere else. Then he turned to another guy. Ken, deal with him. Ken's hand clenched, ready to throw a punch. That guy with the orange headband is Ken Takano. He slipped a ring onto his finger while taunting, hit me face or stomach, anywhere is fine. Wataru immediately trembled like a leaf. Why so sudden? In contrast, Ken exuded a powerful aura. He landed a straight punch on Wataru's cheek. Blood flowed from his nose. He gritted his teeth in pain. Seeing this, Ken still kept his guard and fought seriously. Why did he suddenly zone out? Suddenly, Wataru collapsed. He was so scared he even shed tears. Then Ken turned to Brandon. This guy's no good, he's just a punching bag. But Brandon coldly said, keep going. Hearing that Ken's head was full of question marks. But this guy has a 0% chance of fighting. Brandon stood up abruptly. Listen carefully. He got close to Wataru. Remember how you died? Recalling that horrifying scene, he kept instilling fear in him. You want the same fate? Thus, Wataru gathered all his courage and charged forward. He grabbed Ken's stomach while Ken was completely off guard. He was slammed hard against the edge of the table. That hurts, damn it. Everyone witnessed this violent scene in disbelief. Ken immediately threw a punch at Wataru. That hurts like hell. It landed squarely on his face. Not stopping there, Wataru's whole body flew like a storm toward the window. Ken lost all reason. He grabbed Wataru by the collar and pushed him out the window. You ruined my image. You started this whole thing. Remembering the unfortunate young man from before, Hayato hurriedly stopped him. Hey, get away from the window. He meant well warning him, but Ken didn't listen at all. Both of them and Wataru were about to fall out. By the time they arrived, half of Wataru's body was already outside the window. And then Wataru immediately fell down. Life is full of pain. It's no surprise he had to share the same fate as those before him. Seeing that Ken froze in place, he couldn't say a word. After a moment, he snapped out of it. What, Hayato? Over here, gritting his teeth, unwilling to watch, he began explaining what he knew. Climbing out the window is considered an escape attempt and will be punished immediately. Brandon smugly approached Ken. It seemed this was all part of his plan. Well done, just as you said. He really is just a punching bag. Ken also turned to him and declared, the match has been decided. Brandon pulled out a cigarette and blew smoke in his face. The goal was to make those who paid 100,000 yen feel their decision was right. Then Ken finally slumped down his face like he had returned from the dead. I almost died in this mess, too. Brandon looked at another guy. Hey, no more talk. He instantly walked over and slapped the guy, then ordered, quick, light a cigarette for me. Though it hurt and stung, the guy endured it for his life. Yes. Hayato glanced at Brandon, quietly calculating him. He began discussing with the other two, not joining Brandon's team. From the start, Brandon never intended to let Wataru join the group. So the only way to survive is to get 100,000 yen right. Only we have that amount. His hand clenched tightly, determination clear. Even after the experiment ends, he'll only care about holding on to the money. Hayato stared straight ahead and shouted, we have to end his reign. Sora anxiously placed a hand on his shoulder. But how Hayato began to show his talent analyzing, he has both money and power. Clearly we can't. His whole body trembled. That's why I'm thinking of a plan here. Suddenly his phone vibrated. He immediately recognized it was a message from his mother. On the phone screen appeared the message, Mom will sell your dad's comic books and encyclopedia. Seeing this, Hayato was helpless. Damn it! Even now, still like this. Please don't. Then he quickly typed on the keyboard. Hayato firmly stopped it. Don't do that. That's Dad's keepsake. It's all we have to remember him by. Memories of when he was little with his dad suddenly flooded his mind. Back then, I was very happy. But Mom, greedy for money, still wanted to sell them. I can't just hold on to memories of Dad like that. Dad's rebirth depends on our donations. Hayato pondered for a moment, then decided to sacrifice money to keep the item. There's 5,000 yen in the box on Mom's desk. You can use that. Don't throw Dad's stuff away. Remember that creepy bald guy? He was deeply resentful. That cult leader is trying to make money again. Hayato watched Brandon. Everyone was fooled by appearances. He compared those two again. But if you look deeper, they are truly the worst kinds of people. Looking at the pile of books, he suddenly got an idea. Hayato focused and analyzed. I get it. I will become someone like Brandon, or that cult leader. Thinking that, he turned and walked out. Sora and Little Yellow saw this and were very confused. Hey, where are you going? But he was in such a hurry he didn't bother to answer. He rushed straight ahead. It has to be somewhere around here. Shortly after he arrived in front of the library, inside, Hayato was searching for a certain book. After rummaging around, he pulled out a book with a cover showing some green trees. The moment he saw it, Hayato felt like he had found a life-saving straw. This will save us. By then, dusk had fallen. It was late afternoon. In the classroom, only Sora and Little Yellow remained. The two were opposed to the group. Sora anxiously told her Hayato still hasn't come back. Suddenly, both glanced towards the group. Brandon wiggled his ear. Bored, aren't you? Let's play a game. If you win, I'll let you be my friends. The others exchanged knowing looks and smiled. Sensing something off, little Yellow immediately warned Sora, "Don't look them in the eye." Brandon didn't stop teasing. "I like people with fighting spirit." He kept taunting and provoking. "Hey, trash, you think trembling like a dog in the corner will save you?" Seeing he couldn't shake them, he suddenly stood up. Brandon stepped toward the two. Soon he was right in front of them. "What happened earlier was just an accident. I was going to let you join if you took a few punches from me." He put on a fake smile. "No one believes I'm human anyway. I don't want to see anyone blow their brains out and die." Looking at this old man's face, who could trust him? "So here's an idea. How about a tug-of-war challenge?" Hearing this, Sora looked at him puzzled. But Brandon turned away. "Leave it to me. It's just a game." Night quickly fell here. Out of nowhere, Brandon pulled out a long piece of cloth. He sat right in the middle of the rope. Around them, the others started, "All right." But Sora quickly stopped them and raised a question. "Wait, if it's tug-of-war, how many people on each side?" He immediately replied, "Oh, only one person on this side. That tiny little girl." Little Yellow, seeing her own size, worried, compete against Siri. Seeing this, Sora reassured her. "It's probably easy, right?" Brandon smirked from the side. All the players gathered. He furrowed his brows and looked at both sides. "Ready?" From outside, two students carrying 2 buckets stepped in. "Yes, I brought them." They set them down on the ground. Sora looked at them very confused. "What's that?" That beast was very proud. "Those are your special glass shoes. I just wanted to make it a little more interesting." Hearing this, little Yellow was devastated. "No way. The buckets are full of broken glass shards. How am I supposed to wear that on my feet?" But he didn't seem to be joking. "Don't say that. Just think about it and you'll understand. You don't have any other choice." Both immediately fell silent. Everyone's face was filled with worry. The 4 in the group, including Brandon, all grinned wickedly. "We're all gonna die anyway. Might as well take a risk." Little Yellow gathered all her courage and lifted her foot. Then her foot was placed inside the bucket full of glass. It caused her great pain. Her face contorted as if she wanted to scream out loud. Brandon, showing no mercy, loudly urged her to hurry and put it on. Both her feet were inside now. Shards stabbed her skin, causing her to tremble in pain and cry. He then looked towards Sora. "You too." You shut your eyes tight, sweat dripping. Thinking for a moment, then trembling, you put your foot inside. Seeing that, Brandon snapped his fingers and the game began. The traditional folk game had now turned into a torture for the group, everyone shouting loudly, "Come on, Siri, pull." Brandon also joined in, threatening, "If you lose, I'll be really upset. You know what will happen then, right?" Siri worriedly and reluctantly said, "I'll try." Kane couldn't take it anymore and begged her close friend to take care of herself. Siri stopped, shut her eyes tight, apologized to Kane, but said she didn't want to make Brandon angry. Meanwhile, Sora was still trying hard, pulling both of them down to the ground. The time-up signal sounded and their feet were bleeding from glass shards. Just then the door opened. Hayato had returned. As soon as he entered, the scene hit him. "What are you guys doing?" Sora trembled, sat up, and explained, "He said if I win, he'll let me join the group." He sat down with the 2 of them. "If I stay here, who knows what'll happen to me? Let's go." Brandon on the side kept provoking, "You'll go and cry like Wataru did because that's the only way you'll survive." But those words didn't get through to Hayato. He helped the 2 out of the classroom. A moment later, a candle was lit. Hayato carefully cleaned Sora's wounds, then spoke, sounding hopeless. "Leave me alone. I'm going to die tomorrow anyway." Kane also chimed in, "If I stay here, I won't be allowed to join the group." But Hayato refused to kneel before Brandon. Flattering Brandon wasn't the only way to survive. Sora looked a bit worried, not fully believing what he said. Then Hayato took out a bag. "I've thought of a way, but it will take time. Anyway, don't join the entrance exam and wait for me." After saying that, he left. Sora hurriedly reached out to calling him back. "Hey, wait, Hayato." But it seemed Hayato didn't hear. He was gone, and time kept passing by the second. Sora and Kane stood outside the classroom. "What should we do?" "We don't have much time left." Sora gritted his teeth and thought to himself, "Even if I say that, what can we really do?" Then Kane suddenly threw open the classroom door. "I don't want to die like this." Inside, Brandon was still laughing and joking with the others. Seeing them, he sneered with amusement. "See, I told you." Sora's whole body was trembling uncontrollably. Hayato said he thought of something, but where did he go? Kane frowned, guessing he was either hiding somewhere or trying to escape and die in some corner. "I don't care about him anymore." Then she immediately lowered herself before Brandon. "Sir Brandon, unexpectedly, I'm begging like a beggar now. Please let me join your group. I'll take the entrance exam." Brandon then glanced back at her, Sora. What about you? Then he also trembled and knelt down. Damn, he was right. This was the only way to survive. At this point, he had completely abandoned his pride. Please give me one more chance. While both were kneeling, Brandon suddenly threw out a red pair of pliers. Sora and Kane immediately feared and used it to tear off each other's fingers. He arrogantly shouted, "Get ready for a great show now. The intense entrance exam begins." Just then, the door quickly opened. Hayato hadn't lied to them. He hurried in with a slightly reproachful tone. "I told you not to take the entrance exam." Hayato stood solemnly, holding a blue bag. Seeing him, Sora anxiously asked, "Where have you been all this time?" Kane quickly urged him, "Hurry up, Hayato, please beg them for us." Hearing this, he calmly stepped into the crowd to beg. Sora seriously advised, "There's no other way." At this point, Hayato stood before them, sat down and ordered, reaching for the pliers. "You two are in this group." Then he threw the pliers aside. "There's less than 10 minutes before the other group disappears. You two don't have to pull out a single hair." Hearing that, Brandon was furious and confused. He stomped hard on the glass near his foot. "What do you mean disappear? No hiding anything." Hayato responded calmly, "You're friends." After hearing that, his anger flared up and he clenched his teeth tightly. He quickly grabbed a bottle of water and Brandon threw it straight at Hayato as if those about to die with their brains blown out. "Don't talk nonsense. It hit right in the middle of your head, which caused you some pain." A bottle of water rolled to the ground along with Hayato's words. From now on, his gaze was very determined looking. "Serious, our group will be the largest group." After saying that, he mentioned 3 names, Kane, Z, and MI. "Still got a chance. Do you guys want to switch groups?" Z got angry and frowned upon hearing that. "What are you talking about? We already paid. We're not switching." At that moment, Brandon was still arrogant. "Hayato, are you dreaming? Our group has 8 people and yours only has 3. That's the reality." He didn't panic, but coldly replied, "But the reality is everything can be reversed." Hayato tightened his grip on the bag strap, then suddenly called out a name, Ken. The unexpected thing was that Ken stepped over to Hayato looking like he was caught off guard. This made Brandon ask, "VL, where are you going?" Soon Ken arrived at Hayato's side, ignoring Brandon's calls. He grabbed Hayato's hand and the number of people on their team increased to 4. Seeing that, the girls nearby started wondering, what's going on? Brandon was furious. "Hey Ken, what the hell are you thinking?" Another surprise, the group of kids who had joined Brandon's team from the start all started moving forward. One guy who wasn't familiar with Hayato leaned in and whispered, "Remember your promise." Zay and Kane were stunned by this. Amazing what's happening. The noisy group and Z began to feel confused. "Hey, what's going on? I already paid." The number of people was dropping dramatically, but Brandon was losing it constantly, threatening, "You all stay right there, no one is moving." Brandon threatened again. "You think I'll let this go?" Suddenly, a gold ring was tossed to him. Ken frowned and returned it to Hayato. "Now I don't owe you anything." One by one, people started removing their items, each piece of jewelry neatly placed on the table. Brandon clenched his teeth and glanced at the items, realizing those people were lured away by him. Why did they all go there? Hayato quickly urged. "Less than 20 minutes left. What are you waiting for? Only a few remain." One of them spoke confusedly. "What do you mean it's so confusing?" Z and Kane had joined by now. "Let me join your group, me too." He quickly agreed, "Of course." Seeing that the rest were shocked. "Wait, we're the only ones left." The noisy group stirred slightly. She clenched her hands and spoke on behalf of the group. "I'm sorry, Hayato, please let us join your group. We won't hold grudges." Hayato immediately happily agreed, "Come on in." Thus, the game was flipped. Brandon was left all alone. His face lost its arrogance, no longer acting like a boss. "What is this? What the hell is going on?" Hayato also apologized to Sora and Kane. "Sorry to keep you waiting till the last minute. Now we can say goodbye to fear and death." Both looked at him with shining eyes. "I believe in you. I know we can make it through." "Me too, I believe Hayato will save us." Hearing that, Sora teased her, "You just said some bad luck stuff like you'd run away or die." Hayato forced a smile and rubbed her head. "I don't blame you guys." Too angry to think clearly, Brandon suddenly stepped forward and grabbed a guy by his collar. "Idiot!" But a hand stopped him, Ken. Ken sternly warned, "Stop it. Your desperate efforts are pathetic 20 against 1. Shut up." The guy grabbed by the collar was in pain. Now everyone looked at Brandon with angry eyes. Yet he still foolishly thought he could join them. "Damn, I don't know what trick you used, but Hayato won. Are you satisfied I'll join your group?" "Yeah." Hayato smirked for the first time, welcome. But the next words from him made Brandon grit his teeth. But there's one condition. It seems Hayato wants revenge by giving him back what he did. You smirk like a winner. I always choose my own friends. Brandon's eyes widened in disbelief. What the hell are you saying, you bastard? Sora and Erica next to him immediately shouted, you did the same thing to him, you deserve it. Siri recalled what happened earlier. You know, Erica and I are best friends, and you still made us do that. One by one, the other classmates spoke up. Give me back 100,000 yen, you scammer. So cocky with just a little money. Facing this situation, Brandon cursed silently. Damn it, everyone just says whatever they want. In the end, he had to compromise. What's the condition to become your friend? Hayato slowly sat down and reached for the pliers. All the money you have, right now. Hearing that, he panicked. What you slowly stood up to face him, cash and cryptocurrency, everything. At this moment, Brandon began to get flustered. Even I wouldn't rob someone that hard. 100,000 yen is enough, right? Then you raised the pliers with a dark expression. Better settle this with money while you still can. You don't want your nails ripped off, right? Brandon looked a bit scared of it. He slowly took out his phone and showed his account balance to him. I only have this much. Please let me join your group. Suddenly, an exclamation rang out. Pretty stubborn, huh? It was Ken. He stepped up to Brandon's desk. You still got that right? Brandon anxiously called out. Hey, don't pay attention to him. Ken kept searching and found something. Then he threw it to Hayato. You forgot this. What's that? At this time, only 4 minutes and 40 seconds remained. Ken crossed his arms seriously. Less than 5 minutes left. Is this the time to bargain? Begging for your life is smarter. Hayato gently opened the wallet. Inside was 2.5 million yen. Brandon started trembling and begging Hayato, please let me join your group, please. Hayato's hand clenched the stack of money so tightly it shook. Because of these pieces of paper, you pushed Wataru to death and played with the lives of me, Sora, and Erica. As he spoke, he threw the money like scraps of paper at him. You say this is worth more than human life. Brandon knelt on the ground, grinding his teeth, unable to do anything. Hayato continued philosophizing. Giving someone life is not a toy. If you're my friend, remember that well. Time at this moment hit 0. Amy suddenly burst into tears. Ken remained serious. Above each person's head appeared the number 21. Hayato successfully added him to the group, saving his life. Sora and Erica happily approached him. We really survived. Hayato, tell us, how did you pull them to your side? Then Hayato opened his bag full of cash. With this, a fortune, right? You thought so, didn't you? If I just glanced and showed them this, I bribed all of Brandon's underlings. So that's why you disappeared for so long. But the top sheet is just a photocopy from an encyclopedia. The rest is fake money, just paper cut to the same size. He raised his phone screen. I told them the money was sent by my mom, who is the treasurer of the cult. Sora put her hand on his shoulder seriously. Hayato replied, it's the result that matters, isn't it? Ken slowly stepped forward. The 1.5 million we gathered divided by 11 each gets 20,000. Hayato immediately replied, thanks, the remaining 80,000 I'll pay back with cryptocurrency. Meanwhile, Brandon still knelt on the ground full of resentment, only 300,000 yen, and they were bought off. Just then, Master Zuko walked in. Friendship, respect, trust, and admiration, while they thought they were surrounded by all kinds of red pupils flashing. Actually, it was all just money in disguise. Whoever holds the fake stuff must be careful not to fool themselves. Zuko bared his sharp teeth. Well then, he looked at the students before him. Most of them probably never knew what was real from the start. Zuko beamed brightly. Anyway, everyone did well. Break time. He turned and headed for the door. Come with me. Everyone walked straight ahead. Following to a room, Zuko opened the door and went this way. Inside were tables, each set with a hot pot. What is this? Someone noticed names were written here. Zuko continued the introduction. Each table seats 7 people. We're having a small party to celebrate everyone's hard work. Please enjoy in a friendly atmosphere. 3 people leaned over the hot pot and exclaimed how delicious it looked. Nahiko picked up a bowl, smiling brightly. Sorry. I want to ask Zuko, is there ponzu sauce at the table? His eyes suddenly sparkled. Zuko pointed ahead and turned the volume way up. Don't underestimate the hot pot broth. The ingredients have already released all their flavors. Hearing this, he was a bit flustered. Sorry, I will cherish the ingredients. At the next table, Ami was very excited. I want my little brothers at home to eat this too. Erica, sitting opposite, asked in surprise, Ami, you have little brothers? She cheerfully chatted, I have 3. They're noisy but very cute. I also have a little sister. And suddenly Hayato froze as if struck by thunder god. Ken next to him immediately patted his back. Are you okay? Chew well. 2 people at the next table suddenly turned to him, also surprised. Really, I thought Hayato wouldn't think it through either. Yeah, yet he survived until now. Amazing, right? Nahiko teasingly joked. Maybe it's because of the claw talisman's power. Amy instantly turned to question, don't talk about that stuff in front of delicious food. That's Hayato's mom's talisman, right? Erica added. That's right. No way a talisman can save us. Don't underestimate Hayato's help. But no one laughed. Nahiko awkwardly scratched her head. Just kidding. Don't be so tense when we're having fun. Ami stood up and looked at Hayato, offering, here your bowl. There's still plenty of meat. Thanks. She smiled faintly, watching him eat happily. Suddenly, Hayato froze as if he remembered something. He looked straight ahead and declared, everyone survive and go home together so my little siblings can eat this great hot pot. Right after the numbers above everyone's heads flickered wildly. Above everyone's heads was the number 5. The number had changed. What does that number 5 mean? Zuka up there explained. The numbers show how many people are at each banquet table. Nahiko was shocked and confused. What? Then it should be 7. Why is it 5? A mistake, he smiled meaningfully. That counter only counts your allies. Zuka said something shocking. Those who plot to poison others at the party won't be counted. Everyone turned pale hearing that. Poisoning. Then Zuka cunningly took out a piece of paper. Right now, the party is reaching its climax. Everyone, and please open your chopstick wrappers.